Hello, and welcome to my channel. Or welcome back if that's the case. Pardon my appearance, I had to work 12 hours today, and a lot of people ask me why I'm wearing clown makeup to work, but the truth is I actually wasn't. I'm method acting, and I'm workshopping a character who happens to be a clown barista. So anyway, for today, I'm going to be doing a little reading using my own deck of cards, and the topic of the reading is how you're being perceived right now. So I think we're going to start with how you're being perceived by the general public, like just the world at large. Mask. So I get the sense that the world at large is seeing that you are putting on a mask and you're intentionally putting on this mask. So you are playing a character, and it's not just like this typical mask that everyone else is wearing of like this societal pressure of how they think that they should act in a given scenario. It's like you are intentionally creating the mask and the way that you want to be perceived in the world. Token. So I get the sense that you are expressing a really specific archetype and a really specific sort of concern, emotional state, or cultural history, and you really have a good idea of what this is. Like you really understand sort of the signs and symbols that make up what this idea is that you're trying to express. And so I get the sense that you become immediately recognizable. Like a token that has some sort of insignia imprinted on it, you are immediately recognizable to the world at large of like what you're trying to communicate. Spiky ball. So I get the sense that you are maybe a little bit dangerous. You have these sharp edges and you've got a lot of weight to you. So I think that the world at large is kind of seeing you as a little bit of a threat because you have some sort of power and you have some sway, and once you sort of get that momentum going, you could really be a force to be reckoned with. And I also get the sense that maybe with the spikes going on here, that maybe you could be a little bit abrasive to the general public. Like maybe you're not necessarily the most approachable person, but let's see a little bit about how your acquaintances see you, because maybe they might see you a little bit differently than the general public. Property. So I think that your acquaintances might actually think that you're someone who's a little bit rich, which might not actually be the case for you, or it could be the case. But I think that you just kind of give off this really classy aura that makes people just assume that you have money, which maybe could be a little bit funny to you because you understand your own financial situation in a way that other people don't. And so maybe when they make these assumptions about like what you can buy or what opportunities are available to you, it's just completely off from the reality. And so I think that there's just something about the way you carry yourself and maybe your style that kind of has this connotation with a certain class that maybe you actually don't belong to, but it could have just been something that you've picked up from reading books and watching movies, and you're just kind of putting on this affect. Cave. So I get the sense that your acquaintances kind of see you as someone who is maybe living in the dark. Like you're a little bit of like a vampire kind of vibe. Like you are dwelling in a dark space that they're not too familiar with or too enthusiastic to go to. So I think that this could be a little bit intimidating to some people because they see this like darkness and this mysteriousness about you. So I think that they just can't see your depth at all either because it's like completely dark. So they get to the entrance of the cave and they just can't see beyond the threshold. So I get the sense that you're someone who's not super open to complete strangers. Like you're really hiding certain aspects of yourself that are reserved for only your close friends. So let's talk a little bit about how your friends see you, like what they're perceiving from how you've been acting recently, or just kind of their general opinion of you from knowing you over the years. Mirror. So I get the sense that you really bring something to a conversation that teaches people something about themselves that they weren't actually familiar with already. So I get the sense that maybe when you have a conversation with people, they say something and they don't grasp the full meaning of what they said until you respond to it, and you kind of show them something about themselves that they just totally didn't see before. So I get the sense that you're really mirroring both positive and negative aspects back to people that you have conversations with and your close friends that you're having these deeper, intimate conversations with. And I think that it's definitely showing them something about themselves. And I think people appreciate you for this. And I think that maybe people might see you as a little bit vain. And whether this is true or not, I can't quite say for certain for you. But I think that usually when someone assumes that someone else is quite vain, it's usually because they're a little bit envious of their appearance. So I get the sense that maybe you're just kind of a naturally beautiful person, or you really put a lot of effort into beauty that makes people just assume that you really care about it a lot. And now let's think a little bit about maybe like professional guidance, like your mentors, teachers, and people who are more advanced in in like your chosen career path. Map. So I get the sense that these people can see that you have got your life mapped out for you a little bit. So they understand that you are really prepared to walk the path that it takes to get to where they are. So I think that they really respect you for this because they can see in you an aspect of themselves that is this really kind of driven, like forward thinking person. So I get the sense that you really know where you want to go. And I think that your mentors can see this. And that's why they're willing to open up mentor opportunities for you, because they can see that you just have a clear plan for your future, or at least what you want out of life, if not the actual actions that you need to take. Curtain. So I get the sense that your mentors might see you as someone who needs to go out on stage or perform a little. Like, I think that what they see in you is that you're a little bit too shy. Like, you have a little bit of stage anxiety. So, like, you're a bit scared to really perform in front of other people. And I think that your mentors see a side of you that you don't necessarily show to anyone else. And I think that they really wish that you would share this with the general public. All right, so let's think a little bit about how you're going to be perceived in the future and maybe like any steps that you need to take to really attain your desired, perception. Rock. Okay, so I get the sense that this relates to steadfastness. So I get the sense that in the future, people are really going to see you as someone who always stuck to certain core values. So I get the sense that in order to be this person who's just completely trustworthy and like a really understandable person, like when someone resonates with you, they're going to be your fan and they're not going to like see you change and then be like, okay, this person doesn't interest me anymore, because you're still sticking to those core beliefs that attracted them in the first place. So I think that you really need to sort out what exactly these rock qualities are in you that are not going to be changing all the time. And once you understand these, you can play them up a little bit more so you can actually show them to other people. And when people perceive these qualities in you and see you being consistent about upholding them, that's just going to attract them to you and gain you lifelong fans, really, when people perceive you in this way. Incense. So I get the sense that maybe in your future you're going to be shrouded in mystery a little bit, because I feel like what this card represents is kind of a smoky, hazy, mysterious kind of scent that, it clouds the vision a little bit. So I think that maybe in the future you're going to become a little bit more mysterious. So maybe you won't be sharing too much detail about your life and your plans, especially to the public. I think that you're going to really become a little bit more locked down. And I think this is going to be really beneficial for you in cultivating this air of mystique. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong with being vulnerable. I think that just in the future, it's going to change a little bit for you. All right, and here's an interesting one. Let's think about how you perceive yourself. Because maybe you're not fully honest, or maybe you're like subconsciously perceiving certain things in yourself, and you might not actually know these things. Candle. Okay, so I think that you perceive yourself as a sort of your own guiding light. So you're not necessarily looking to other light sources. You're not looking to other people to influence you so much. I think you see yourself, or what you see as yourself is kind of like this is your core. So when you come back to yourself and you remember who you really are, you are illuminated and you can see the way. Dog. So I get the sense that you see yourself as someone who is very like a hard worker, and you're very fastidious, and you also are like well trained. Like, I think you have disciplined yourself, really, is essentially what this card is saying. And I think that you are recognizing the qualities in yourself that are disciplined and your ability to be a disciplined person. So maybe in the past you didn't recognize this in yourself so much, and you really thought like, I'm not the type of person who can uphold these promises or deadlines or things that I've set for myself. But I think that recently you've been understanding that you can actually be an extraordinarily disciplined person, and I think that you need to play this up a little bit more even and take it to the next level to really execute the things that you want to see in the world. Okay, T. So I get the sense that you see yourself as someone who is maybe a little bit like knowledgeable about certain topics or traditions, because to me the tea ceremony is something that's kind of requires a lot of knowledge and sort of research and understanding of what the process is about. So I get the sense that you see yourself as someone who understands the steps that you need to take in order to achieve your desired outcome. And I get the sense that you're not taking it too lightly. I think you understand the gravity of your actions in this moment. So I get the sense that you are like also maybe seeing yourself as someone who wants to create community. Like you want to be sitting around with other people and partaking in this tea with them. I don't think you necessarily are wanting to have this tea ceremony in private. So I get the sense that you're recognizing in yourself certain qualities of wanting to be in a community and be with other people. Okay, and let's draw one last card. Maybe this is like how the universe perceives you. Kind of like this grand thing about like your purpose. Wig. Okay, I think that this is an interesting one. I think I get the sense that the universe knows that you can be anything. Like you can just switch your wig and you can be anything that you desire to be in that moment. So I think that the universe is not pinning you down to any specific thing. And actually there's a lot of freedom in what you want to do. And of course, there's certain things that you might excel at a little bit better and sort of natural abilities. But I think at the same time, like, even within that, there are infinite possibilities of the choices that you could take. So I get the sense that the universe is really trying to tell you to like open up and understand that you get to choose your life path. You get to choose who you are and how you're perceived in certain situations. All right, so I hope that this reading helped you a little bit, and I hope it was a little bit entertaining. And let me know if you have any other questions on what you want some readings on, and I hope to see you in the next video.